The successor to the Canon EOS R will be announced in late 2022 or in the first quarter of 2023. Details coming up, but first, I encourage you to subscribe and choose all notifications so you're kept informed on the latest camera gear, news, and rumors. Looks like the rumored release of the Canon EOS R isn't going to happen this September as rumored, and neither is the EOS RP. And that, according to Canon Rumors. Canon Rumors says that the EOS R successor is likely to be announced later in 2022, which most likely means late October or early November, or perhaps mid-November. Shipping is expected sometime in Q1. The Canon EOS RP, that camera was rumored to be coming out in late 2020, then 2021, and now 2022, with a risk of it being further delayed into 2023. But one of the most noteworthy points about the Canon EOS RP was going to be its price. A list price of $899 US. And that's significant. That's lower than the Canon EOS RP today. That's a pretty good price. So $899. However, we've had a few problems. Since the EOS RP was rumored and planned, we've had a lot of disruptions in the world. The price of resources have gone up, including human resources, fuel, everything. The entire economy is, well, we can see this around the world with central bank rates going up. However, there is some good news. Base metals, precious metal, and rare earths are down in price. In fact, copper is down 25% from its high. And that's good news. Lumber costs are down, and fuel costs are heading down as well. So how does this affect the Canon EOS RP? Well, because the Canon EOS RP is designed to be around $899, it's very price sensitive. And with the increased cost to raw materials, to parts, to the whole supply chain, and because fuel costs have gone up so much, every aspect of a price-sensitive camera has come under threat. And most likely that has been put into a sort of, let's wait and see what happens to the market price of all these materials, and let's put things on hold until, well, prices start to come down. And maybe we could see the Canon EOS RP come out later this fall. We don't know at this point. The successor to the Canon EOS RP, or most likely it could be delayed into 2023. And this is really sad. According to Canon Rumors, we're supposed to get quite a few cameras coming out this year. Canon EOS RP successor, the Canon EOS R successor, a high megapixel version of the Canon EOS R5, and a whole bunch of lenses. But right now, things aren't looking very good. We're looking about late 2022 for an EOS R or RP, but we are supposed to be getting another APS-C censored camera for the R system. So we are getting an APS-C censored camera. We've got the R7 and the R10, and the R7 is kind of like the, well, it's not really like the old camera that it's designed to replace. It's kind of somewhere between where the Canon 90D line goes and the 7D. It's not really a replacement for the 7D. In some areas, it's better, like the oversample video, the 7K oversample video. But when it comes to stills, it doesn't quite hit as well as the 7D did. So who's to say where this camera is going to come in? And of course, we have the R10, which is kind of a replacement for somewhere between the 90D, what it's going to be, and of course, a high-end Rebel series like the T8i. It's really hard to say what this new R system APS-C camera is going to be. We don't have any rumored specifications. And of course, as always, I'm more interested in the rumored specifications because as we've seen since early 2020, when it comes to dates and it comes to prices, that can change at any time. And I really don't know what's going to be happening with the prices of these new cameras. I don't know if the Canon EOS RP successor, whether it's going to be called the R8 or the R9, is going to be priced at $899. But with all the increases in prices for raw materials, base metals, precious metals, rare earths, the shocks to the supply chain, the increase in fuel prices, it certainly made producing an EOS RP successor at $899 rather difficult in late 2020 and early 2021 and for much of 2021. So now that we're starting to see prices come down, I think is a good thing. We're starting to see the availability improve in certain products across the entire supply chain. So let's hope, and this is not the first time I've said this, let's hope that things do improve. But since late 2020, Canon Rumors, or Craig at Canon Rumors, he's since moved on, but Craig at Canon Rumors has told us time and time again, these are the dates right now, this is what Canon's thinking, but who knows, that could change in 6 months. And right now, Canon Rumors is giving us a 6-month window for the EOS R and the RP. And while we might get an announcement for either the EOS R or the RP replacement here in 2020, whether it be late or not. We're most likely not going to get the camera to start shipping until the first quarter of 2023. So rather frustrating, I know it is. For the last couple of weeks, there really hasn't been much going on. When firmware 1.6 dropped for the R5 and the R6, I was extensively testing it out in the field, and I got up to about 80 degrees. We didn't quite hit 90 degrees, so I wasn't able to test in 90 degrees, but from everybody else who's testing in 90 degrees, the new firmware 1.6 for the Canon EOS R5 has greatly increased record times, which is definitely good news. And that kind of has me thinking towards the Canon's EOS R5 Mark II. We're at the midway point between when we'll see the new camera, the Mark II, probably sometime in 2024. And I'm wondering if they're going to take into account better thermals. Several companies have shown that if you just design a plate, a copper plate to put in there, you can greatly dissipate the heat a whole lot better, giving you much better record times. Coupled with firmware 1.6 and the new heat management, the R6 is turning into a very powerful video camera. But what I'm most interested in is the Canon EOS R1, and we know absolutely nothing about that camera at this point. I do hope we start to get some rumors, but with the delays of everything so far, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a delay there. But because the R1 is a much more expensive camera, it can absorb some price shocks more than others. The question is Canon going to look at the Z9 and think, they brought that camera in at $59.99, or sorry, $54.99, so $5,500, a full $1,000 less than the 1DX Mark III. Is Canon going to look to the Nikon Z9 and think, maybe we need to keep the price of the Canon EOS R1 down? At the very minimum, keep it at $64.99, or maybe even drop it. We'll just have to wait and see. The market is really going to play a huge part there. From many accounts, a recession is looming. We're seeing reduced economic demand. That will help free up supply, but at the same point, it could also reduce sales. So we'll just have to wait and see. The camera market is a rather, well, it's been under threats for many years. It's been reducing in size to where it's the smallest it's been in, well, decades. And Canon EOS R1, I do think if it came onto the market, would sell very, very well, because Canon really doesn't have, well, it doesn't have a mirrorless replacement for the 1DX Mark III, which came out in early 2020. In January was when it was announced. And yes, they've come out with the R3, but I think a lot of people, including myself, look at the R3 and it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Its capability for its price, $59.99. We got the Nikon Z9 at $54.99, which can do more. And yes, the R3 has a better buffer than the R5. It's a good, solid camera. But, you know, I look at that price tag and I'm willing to see what Canon's going to do with the R1. I want to see what the price is going to be and what the capabilities delivered for that camera are going to be before I would make a decision on the R3. And when I do look at the R3, I'd just rather wait for the R5 Mark II, because when it comes to the video capabilities, it just isn't quite there. So the real big news that I'm looking for is definitely an EOS R Mark II, an EOS RP successor, and hopefully within the next 6 months we get that. But outside of that, any hint of any capabilities, any rumored capabilities, the Canon EOS R1, boy, I don't care if it's the middle of the night, I'm going to be getting out there with that video. But sorry, I was a little late on this one here. Apparently, well, we got a little dog just a few days ago, and we were at a grooming session. And I know, what's more important, a grooming session or a camera? And obviously the answer to that is yes, a camera. However, we only got him a couple of days ago, so this first grooming session was very important. We had to get the nails cut properly. My eyesight isn't very good, and if I tried trimming his nails, I could do some damage and cut off that quick. Yeah, that's what they call it. It's this little white part that, and if you cut that, it can cause some damage and infection. So it was free. PetSmart, they give you this $20 booklet. You have to pay $20 for coupons. But already with all the stuff we bought, we've saved over $100. So if you have a local PetSmart, definitely that book they're selling you for $20, it's well worth it. So we just got back from the grooming session. So now here I am just finishing up this video, getting it out to you. So I am about an hour or two late. But rest assured, if this was a Canon EOS R1 rumored announcement or capabilities, I would have delayed that session a day or two to bring you the news. But yeah, I'm on vacation, week 2 of 6, but I'm still paying attention, listening for the news. And yes, I did think about doing a video on that R5 Robotron or Transformer. And then I thought, no, 'tis a silly thing. A Canon R5 is $4,000. I can't imagine why anybody would want to take a Canon EOS R5, take it apart, and turn it into a transformer. But someone has done it. You can go find the news on the web. I'm not going to go ahead and cover that. I'm just going to stick to the serious news here. It's summer. If it's not serious, I'm going to be enjoying the weather outside. It's great this week. Right now, it's 73 degrees and fair, which is about 23 degrees Celsius. And for the rest of the next 2 weeks, the temperature isn't supposed to go above about 78, 77 degrees, which I don't know what that is Celsius. I think it's something like 26, 25, 24.32. The weather's absolutely fabulous. So I'm going to get out there. I'm going to enjoy it. But I am going to bring you the latest news and rumors. So if you want to stay up to date on the latest news and rumors, go ahead and subscribe. But please choose all notifications. Because when you choose all notifications, as soon as I publish a video, you're going to be notified by YouTube so you can stay up to date on the latest news and rumors. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you again soon.